As we move to May, I'll be sharing how my portfolio did in the month of April. For this portfolio, the first month of every quarter always has less dividend payouts, and for this month, it's been 4 dividend payouts. In addition to my portfolio update, I'll be sharing the structure of my portfolio within M1 Finance, and stick around to the end to see what my plans are for the month of May. Let's jump in. Every year, sharing my financial journey to inspire you to start growing wealth. In M1 Finance, my total portfolio is $14,396.31. This last month, I have a gain of $545.01, and I have a return of 4.05%. From the start of the year, my gain has been $350.37, and my return has been 2.9%. And my overall return has been $533.81, and my overall return has been 9.4%. Currently here, I'm going to show you how I have broken down my M1 Finance portfolio. Now, M1 Finance has what they call slices and pies. So slices is basically individual stock or ETF, and then a pie is just a combination of those slices. So over here, I have broken down my portfolio into pies of each of the sectors. So right here, I have consumer discretionary at 20% of my portfolio. They have technology at 20%, consumer discretionary at 16%, healthcare at 12%, financials at 8%, industrial at 8%, real estate at 8%, scrolling down here, consumer at 4%, energy at 2%, and utilities at 2%. Now within my consumer discretionary, I have Best Buy at 40%, Lowe's at 30%, and Starbucks at 30%. In technology, I have Broadcom at 45%, Qualcomm at 45%, and then Microsoft and Apple both at 5%. For Microsoft and Apple, I'm slowly building my position in them whenever there's dips in the market. And for consumer staples, I have Target at 40%, Pepsi at 30%, and Tyson Foods at 30% as well. Healthcare, I have Johnson & Johnson at 50%, Avi at 30%, and Pfizer at 20%. For the finances, I have JP Morgan at 40%, Bank of America at 40%, and T. Rowe Price at 20%. In industrials, I have Lockheed Martin at 30%, Stanley Black & Decker at 30%, Caterpillar at 30%, and then 3M at 10%. Now for real estate, I have SAG at 50%, Realty Income at 45%, and Medical Property Trust at 5%. For communications, I have Verizon at 60% and AT&T at 40%. For energy, I've broken down with Exxon at 35%, Enterprise Product Partners at 40%, and Devon Energy at 25%. And lastly, I have utilities with Duke Energy and NextEra Energy both at 50%. Moving on to the dividends I received in the month of April. The first one being from Best Buy, ticker symbol BBY. On April 13th, they paid me $12.78. Since the beginning of the year, Best Buy has fallen just over 7%, bringing it to a current share price of $74.52. Now they are slightly below their midpoint of their 52-week range with a low of $60 and a high of $98. And Best Buy has a really nice dividend yield of 4.94%, which will give you an annual payout of $3.68. Now for me personally, I like Best Buy within the $70 range. My current average share price is $83, so anytime it's in the $70, I like to bring my cost average down. Over here, looking at a weekly chart, we can see here that the current share price that Best Buy is in, it's close to the band zone. Going back here a couple of months, you can see that it bottomed out around $65 2 times. And so right now, there's definitely buyers in those sections. We can see here that momentum was picking up within this last month, and we're currently in a neutral trend going into an oversold section. So if we can start building some more momentum and getting some volume in, possibly can move up through moving averages. But right now, being in the neutral trend, most likely will stay around that $70 like we have the last couple of weeks. So it is going to be a good time to buy if you're starting a dollar cost average or starting a position in Best Buy. And the second dividend I received was also on April 13th from Medical Property Trust, ticker symbol MPW, and they paid me $3.19. Well, actually, they also paid me a second payout on April 13th as well, and that one was for 14 cents. So I'm not sure why they split up that dividend payout, but hey, another payout doesn't hurt. Now, since the beginning of the year, hasn't been too good for Medical Property Trust. They have fallen close to 24%. However, within this last month, they have grown 18%, bringing to a current share price of $8.77. So Medical Property Trust is just bouncing off their 52-week low, which was $7. And they have a nice high dividend yield of 13.23%, which will give you an annual payout of $1.16. Now, one of the reasons for the big drop in medical property trust, they were having issues with one of their tenants not paying the rent. However, this last month, they were starting to bounce back from that. And with over 400 other different hospital facilities, I think they'll be able to bounce back, but they are having some struggling times. But so far, has still been able to manage paying that high dividend yield. Now, over on the weekly chart, the big drop that medical property trust had was back in the end of February. And since then, they've been hovering around that $7, $8 range, and have picked up a little bit, as we mentioned back this last month. You just keep right here, but they do have a neutral momentum, so not a lot of volume going to be pushing it upwards. So it is in a negative trend, and they are in the oversold section right over here. So moving into May, most likely medical property trust will stay around the share price that it has right now, unless it has a big jump up in volume that will push it through its moving average. Now, the third dividend I received was from Realty Income, ticker symbol O. And on April 14th, they paid me $1.70. Since the beginning of the year, Realty Income has fallen 1.5%, bringing it to a current share price of $62.84. They are coming back from their 52-week low, which was $55, and they do have a nice dividend yield of 4.87%, which will give you an annual payout of $3.06. My price target for Realty Income is around that $60, so anytime it hits $60 or less, I start building my position up. Now, for the last few weeks, Realty Income has dropped back to that low $60 range and has been just moving sideways right now. So they haven't had much momentum and also in a neutral trend. So right now, going into May, I see that Realty Income will stay around that low $60 range unless any momentum and volume picks up. Now, the last dividend I received in the month of April was on April 17th from Stag, ticker symbol STAG, and they paid me $2.10. Now, since the beginning of the year, Stag has had a pretty nice jump of 4.7%, bringing to a current share price of $33.87. Now, Stag is above its midpoint of its 52-week range and is moving close to its 52-week high of $37. They have a nice dividend yield of 4.34%, which will give you an annual payout of $1.47. Now, my price target for Stag is around that $30 range, so I definitely like to pick up more shares when it's $30 and under. Now, for Stag, similar to Realty Income, it hasn't moved too much within these last few weeks. It did bounce around $30, $31 that it had back in March, but as far as April, pretty much stayed around that $32, $33 range. We are picking up some nice momentum right here, so that is giving it a little boost, but we're still in a neutral trend and just hovering right in the middle right there, getting close to its oversold section. As for moving into May, most likely Stag will stay close to that $33 range. However, if that momentum continues to pick up, we could get a little bump up through its moving averages, but most likely not going to get close to its 52-week high of $37 anytime soon. Now, normally I would receive a dividend payout from JP Morgan on the last day of the month. However, this year, April 30th falls on a Sunday, so I'll be receiving that dividend payout on May 1st, and they will be paying me $4.80. So tallying up all the dividends I received, excluding JP Morgan because I haven't received it yet, I have a total of $19.91. So that'll bring me to my annual total of $114.98. So looking very, very nice. The beginning of this year, only 4 months in, and have more than half of what I received in dividends from last year. Now, moving into what dividends I'm expected to receive in the month of May, I'm over here in the dividend tracker, and this is the software I use to track my dividend portfolio. I have it linked up to my brokerage account. You can also do different dividend stock research within this platform. So if you're interested in a dividend tracker, check out my referral link down in the description. There is a free and also a premium version. The premium version is the one I have right now. So over here in the May dividend calendar, on May 1st, I'll receive 2 different dividend payouts, the first one being from AT&T and the second one being from Verizon. Now on May 10th, I'll receive a dividend payout from Lowe's, and on the 12th, I'll receive one from Enterprise Product Partners. Now, the third week of May, I'll have a handful of them. So on the 14th, I'll be receiving a dividend payout from Avi Realty Income and Stag. And on the 9th, I'll receive one from Apple and Caterpillar. And the last dividend payout for the month of May will be on the 26th from Starbucks. So tallying up all those dividends, I'll receive a total of $28.43. As for stocks I purchased throughout the month of April, first 2 looking at were from Bank of America and T. Rowe Price. So since the fall of Silicon Valley, these 2 have suddenly been on sale. So Bank of America, I put $90 in and got just above 3 shares of Bank of America, and then I put $100 in for T. Rowe Price and just got 1 share. Next up was from Best Buy, and as I mentioned earlier, with Best Buy being in that $70 range, I've been picking up some shares, so I put $100 in and got just over 1 share of Best Buy. Also with Lowe's being under that $200 range, I put in $100 and got about half a share of Lowe's. And for Tyson Food, I do like the share price being under $60 range, so I put $50 in and got 0.8 shares. Next up, I have some purchases from industrial and energy stocks. With all of these, when there's a little pullback, I like to pick up some shares in the dip. So the first one being from Caterpillar, put $50 in and got 0.2 shares. Next is Dividend Energy, put $25 in and got about half a share. And finally, Exxon, I put $25 in and got 0.2 shares. Now, the last 3 stocks I purchased in the month of April. First one was from Realty Income, and this was the only real estate stock I purchased this month. So I put $30 in and got about half a share. Next, I had AT&T, put in about $40 and got just above 2 shares. And I put in $25 in for Verizon and got about 0.8 shares. So tallying up all those, I have a total of $635 that I spent on stocks this month. Now, I plan for the month of May, I will be keeping an eye on Best Buy and Lowe's, with Best Buy being around that $70 range, want to keep dollar cost averaging, and with Lowe's being under 200, I want to keep dollar cost averaging in that as well. As for stocks, if there is going to be a pullback, starting to build up my energy stocks as well, being Dividend Energy and Exxon, as well as Caterpillar, just like I did last month. I would like to continue building my position in Apple and Microsoft. However, they have had a jump up, so I'll be waiting for them to come back down. Apple being around that 140 and Microsoft being around that 220, which might not be anytime soon with their jump up they had this last month. As far as financials, I will be picking up at least 1 or 2 more shares of Bank of America while it's staying around that $30 range, and may pick up 1 share of Realty Income and 1 share of Stag. If you enjoyed today's content, let me know by smashing the like button and drop a comment down below what companies you received dividends for in the month of April, as well as what your largest dividend payout was. In addition to that, let me know what type of content you'd like to see from this channel. I want to create the best content I can to help you on your investing journey. If you're looking for some stock analysis, check out this video right over here and I'll catch you over there. Have a blessed day. Peace.